inconvenience at worst. But for a disabled resident in a wheelchair, it's the difference between living a full life and being locked out of their own home. So the building puts in a ramp and it installs a lift. Now ask yourself, honestly, who has been disadvantaged by that? Nobody who was climbing those stairs on their own strength lost anything. They can still climb the stairs if they want to. But what's changed is that someone who couldn't get to the top before now can. That's the whole transaction. That is what equity is. Not everyone getting the same thing regardless of need. Everyone getting what they need to reach the same place. And this is where DEI overrides meritocracy argument falls apart. Because the ramp was never a question of merit. The person who needed it wasn't being asked to skip the building or take someone else's flat. They were asking to reach the same floor as everyone else, using the same route that accounts for a barrier they didn't choose and they didn't create. So when people say equity is unfair to those who earned it, ask them, earned what exactly? Earned the stairs existing and not the ramp? Because that's not merit. That's a system built around one kind of person mistaken for a neutral level playing field. The people asking or requesting for DI are not asking for the stairs to be removed. They're just asking for the ramp and lift to be added, for the barriers that were never fair to begin with to finally be accounted for. And if that somehow feels threatening to you, the question worth considering isn't, is this fair to me? It's what have I been standing on without ever having to ask how I got there. There's an example that I've always used when I speak to organizations and some individuals.
It's an interesting point.
Men, listen, if you
you about to say something crazy.
Just remember, there's women out here sucking strap.
Ah! I knew he was gonna say something crazy. Oh my gosh. Ah, damn, it's crazy. I don't think. Oh my gosh, the joke is funny, but it's crazy. Oh my gosh. This boy crazy. Okay. Composure. Whatever that is. No. Alright, is that actually visible? Yeah, it's visible. So people can see the stream. It's a matter of me actually saying something worth listening to now. I should probably put that on the screen as well, what we've been talking about today. That would help a lot. Let's see if we can do something to change it. I don't even know if you could call cancel culture actually a culture. There are some interesting analysis to be had. Well, I don't know that's how you, if you'd say that plurally. I'm still not awake, man. I think I'm still recovering from something not right. But I'm not wrong either, you know what I mean? Anyways, I suppose we need to be able to see Twitch chat, and in a second we also need to see the sounds. If the sounds are passing through the microphone. Blank. Do we have sound or no? Yo, check 1 2. Oh, what's up, A Drizzle? 1 sec. I don't know if I can be heard. Yo, check 1 2. Oh, what's up, A? What's my guy saying? He's saying, so God in a higher dimension that we can't comprehend. A 2D being can't comprehend 3D or 4D. God is like 7D or higher. So what kind of information do you have to confirm that to be the case? Is that just things you feel are true? How could you know that's true? Well, tell me. Yeah, I don't use WhatsApp, bro. I mean, I'm surprised people actually do use WhatsApp. It's like people don't realize it's literally owned by Facebook, and it's like almost no encryption. So you may as well send a pigeon to them. I don't know, like, why do people even use WhatsApp, bro? Like, if you're on Android, you can send all the same stuff in a text message. If you're on iPhone, you can send all the same stuff in a text message. What reason do you have to use WhatsApp? Guys have been bamboozled. Also realize if you have a WhatsApp, people can literally create accounts, pretend to be you, and talk to friends and family and strangers as you, just like they can do on social media. With a phone number, it's a little bit harder. People may be able to get your phone number, but then it comes into question whether it was actually you who sent that message at that time. Did it actually originate from your device? I think that's something that's important. But you guys are kind of goofy, so you don't think about stuff like that. You just do whatever you're told. So yes, send an Instagram message, send a Facebook message, send a WhatsApp. Yes, enjoy that. Also, use a Snapchat, or think your messages are disappearing. Good, do that. And when you're sitting in a cell wondering how did they catch me? You eat that. Anyways, don't use WhatsApp, eh? Yeah, you eat that. Anyways, so I'm asking today, do you think cancel culture has failed? Among other things, such as, did humans invent God? Is you a bitch? I hope TikTok censored that. Jokes. Alright, so what do you want to do? You've got to run all the way back. Back to where we so the street's going to be goofy as hell. Oh, maybe not. Maybe nothing is going to happen. But yeah, I do have some thoughts. But alright, put it this way, I've not formulated an argument whether cancel culture is successful or failed yet, but I do have some views on both sides of the argument. Arco, 1 sec, I'm gonna bring you up. Just gonna try to get to a safe space quickly. Safe space. You should know also, Arco, for saying a safe space, fam. 1 sec. Hello.
I just realized that background is not actually where you are.
Oh, of course not. It's bloody TikTok.
It's Manhattan, yeah.
Is it Manhattan?
I think so.
Oh, man can dream, can he?
What a shame, because that kind of apartment thing, it kind of suits you.
Ah, I appreciate that. What makes you think that it suits me though?
What are we working with now? Have we got like just basement settings?
Basement settings? Well, look. Alright, OPSEC aside.
House settings, council flat settings.
I'm okay, I'd say that. I'm okay.
But you're not skyscraper.
Nah.
You're not New York skyline.
Nah. I ain't sold enough body parts yet.
Oh.
I don't know exactly what is required to be there, but whatever that criteria is, I don't think I've met it yet.
Oh dear.
What are you saying, though?
Well, no, I was gonna say if that is your apartment, then you are kind of cute, especially if
what the hell? Are you trying to tell me that? Oh my gosh, it's mental. So you're saying men only have value like based on the things that they earn? So I couldn't be cute without the apartment.
If you are a gamer and you have that kind of apartment, I would just assume that you're really good at what you do and you're really successful and you're networking.
You could just you could equally assume that I'm just a nepo baby that has no talents and just basically living off the wealth of generations of people who stole labor. You could also assume that, But
Well, I could, yeah. It's not how things are; it's how things look, isn't it?
oh, I
It's all
guess
about how things look.
oh,
So
like, you're in for a
you can't
hell of a ride
change.
in life if you actually do think that way. I'll tell you that much.
Not according to my therapist. Actually, this is my
Real?
superpower. Yeah.
All right, so tell me about it. Explain it to me.
Okay, so say that this is genuine, right? This is your apartment, New York skyline. You're playing video games. I'm like, ooh. In any other scenario, this guy's not my type, but right now he's giving type.
Say again, sorry.
I said, I'm like, ooh. In any other scenario, this guy is not my type, but
Oh
today it's
man, that's
giving
cold as
type.
ice.
It's giving type. So then I'm like, jump on the live on my actual account so you can see my face and be like, damn, I didn't know that the cuties were on TikTok. Like,
Crazy.
jump on the live. Yeah. I'm like, hey, hi, pandering to all of the topics. What's this? Humans and men go, I don't care. Da, 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 da. Whatever you want to hear, I'm saying it.
But
Eventually,
sure, go on.
we meet up and I'm getting my ass ate whilst looking at that New York skyline. Like,
That's crazy work.
it's not too far off.
So what does what does your therapist have to say about the generation of fantasy so fast?
Not much, but I've noticed that every single one of our sessions has ended in me crashing out and him just hanging up the line.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, look. Obviously, it's one thing to imagine that being a possibility, but the reality is quite different, isn't it? Like, say there was actually a
That's why I
guy.
was asking, what are we dealing with? Basement, council house, council flat, like
It wouldn't
bit
really
clear.
matter.
I
Like,
mean, we could still make the New York skyline thing happen, technically.
well, yeah, technically yes, maybe for a
Yeah.
weekend.
I mean, after that body part comment, I would have to do like a thorough CRB.
That's a joke.
Registration.
That's obviously a
Yeah,
joke.
yeah,
It's obviously a joke.
yeah.
It's about
It's not in this climate. It's not obviously a joke.
what? So what about it? Did you think was legitimate?
But I didn't see you see this like ring of light around you? I couldn't see that shit.
Huh?
The bed looks kind of fake, and to be honest, who's gonna have their bed there? There's no curtain. So after a while, I was kind of like, oh,
It's literally AI.
yeah, and the candles are not flickering. I know that.
It's like a TikTok setting. But that aside, right? What makes you think that even if I did have these things, that would affect your chances of, I don't know, persuading me to care about you as a person?
No, not care. I said I want to get my ass ate whilst looking at the New York skyline.
Yeah, that would also require me to care at some level, no? Or to actually engage with you. You would hope, right? You would hope.
Are you a sweetheart? Is that what you're saying? You're a lover boy.
I don't know. I don't even know what
Yeah,
that
I think you're
entails.
doing it. Oh, that's cute. So you would have to care about somebody to
Well,
eat their
yeah.
ass.
Well, I don't know about eating ass. That's OG. It's a bit much, you know. It's a bit much. Family friendly app and all that.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't know. I mean, look. One would posit that there has to be some kind of care to go that far, perhaps.
No, just interest, I think.
I don't know, man. That's kind of kinky, bro. I don't know.
We're just talking about vibes only, you know. Like, it's delusional. I'm delusional.
Well, yeah, kind of. I'm not even gonna lie, bro.
Yeah, come on. Like, that kind of opportunity doesn't just fall into someone's lap. I mean, if it did, fuck me. Like,
Well, there are people like that though. That is
what, they
someone's
just
reality.
wake up one morning and then the next thing you know, they're on a flight to New York, getting their ass ate in front of the skyline.
That is definitely someone's reality. But it's just
Oh
whether
God,
they
won't it be mine, please, universe? Like,
is whether the question is whether that is
a God,
enjoyable or not is the
I need
question.
him to make that happen.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. One could argue that experience depending on how it goes down worth integrity of the person.
What integrity? I'm getting my hello. We're gonna die one day.
Facts,
Like,
facts. But you also got to live with the memories that you have while you're alive too.
the memory of having my ass eaten whilst looking at a new.
Yeah, but the context of how it occurs, right? It's like, think about the people that get like
doesn't
flown out to
matter.
Dubai and shit like that, and just get defecated on.
Nah,
like,
that's different. Flew out to Dubai is different. That's different.
yeah, but in a
That's
sense, it's the same.
No, it's not.
All right, so what? Right, so I know it's about to sound weird, but what would be the value exchange for the man that does actually possess the apartment and the New York skyline and all of this stuff? What would be the value
Well,
exchange
he
there?
knows, obviously, if he's got to that, that level where everything fits. You know, when you see these little kids walking down the street and you can tell that their parents have like bought their clothes like 3 sizes up because they don't really know if the money's going to be, do you know what I mean?
That's
They don't know
crazy,
if the
man.
money's gonna, the money's going to be hitting like that in the next couple of months. And then you can also see kids who are wearing oversized clothes, but it's like, okay, that's giving skater boy vibes. That's this little nigga style. Okay. That's
Fair.
different. It's different. So if a dude got to the point where he's in his New York skyline apartment, he's playing his video games, you're a good looking guy, you're decently
Oh,
dressed. Assuming that you're decent at video games, right?
which I'm
Just
not.
assuming you're not.
Yeah, of course I'm mediocre. Well, like being mediocre is exactly what would get you in that position anyway. To be honest with
That's
you.
to be fair. Yeah, to be fair.
But yeah,
Right. Dude has all of this going. Like, it doesn't need to make sense to everyone else. It just needs to make sense to him. And then it needs to make sense to me.
yeah. But then
We can all
again,
be winning.
the question still remains: what would be the value exchange for the guy?
Oh, what does he want? What does he want? Why did he go to the effort of getting a skyline apartment? Obviously, you're trying to fuck bitches
Oh yeah, of
with
course.
the skyline view. Like, duh.
Of course, but again, the question is still what is the value exchange? Why should that person specifically care about you? Considering like
Well, then
your
get
intentions,
on.
your intentions are completely aesthetic or material based in the first place.
Okay, so then get on the VPN.
Hey,
Go
what's that?
for it. What's it called? Duck Duck Goose, Duck Duck Go. Get on the VPN. Whatever makes you happy,
And
and
do
do
what?
that. That's what men do when they're on the when they're on the virtual private network. Oh
My
yeah,
guy.
it's getting real
Listen.
now.
Oh
Go on the
wait,
VPN.
men and women, 60% of women actually.
Oh
So
really?
yeah,
What's the percentage for men?
90 something, 91.
Oh fucking hell, that was embarrassing.
So yeah, but you're still over the halfway mark. So yeah, there's that.
I mean, but we are the ones that are like mass producing the content. If it wasn't for us, there would be no there would be no VPN world. Like,
True. I don't know what you need a VPN for. What are you hiding it for?
I don't know, isn't that what they say? Like VPN.
I'm just trolling.
No.
But still,
Okay,
you've
okay.
avoided the question, right? Why should a man that's worked like I'm not like red pill and all that kind of shit, but just in general, right?
You're sounding a bit red pill.
I'm giving you a
Like,
devil's
don't do that to
advocate
yourself.
argument.
You actually have
No, I'm
potential.
just giving you the devil's advocate argument, right? At the point in which you see the guy who has all the things all material things that you desire, okay? What is in it for him to capitulate to your desires, right? That's the question.
It's not about
He's on
him.
smoke.
Okay, it's not about him, necessarily fulfilling my desires or me fulfilling his desires. It's not that. It's me fulfilling my desires and him fulfilling his desires. Do you see what I
Well,
mean? Yeah, it's not. We're not exchanging anything. It just makes sense.
so alright. So better question. How would you go about figuring out his desires?
I mean, men are not that. They're not that complicated.
Really?
They're really not.
Look at the world around you.
Men are very. I mean, yeah, terrible world. But men, for what they are, standing alone, they're really just not that complicated.
Okay, explain the
But it's
reasons.
when you guys get together that things get complicated. That's when you get shit like red pill. Okay, that's when shit gets like, whoa, whoa.
Jesus
But when
Christ.
when you have a man to himself, he's really just not that complicated. A simple being, a very simple being.
I mean, that's quite stereotypical, but I can see why you might think that.
No, you agree. You're too proud to admit that you agree.
No, so, all right. There are some parts of a man which are simplistic, in the same way some parts of a woman are simplistic. But
Why not? Why not? I mean, the world would be a much better place if we were
but you
all.
still ducked it though. You still ducked the question, right?
How am I ducking it?
How
I
would
just
you
answered
right?
the question.
So how would you figure out what the man's desires are? Do you think his desires are going to be just as aesthetic as yours, or
I make an assumption based off of what I can see, right? So basically, like I said, I step into this whatever the fuck this what do we call this, a chat room or whatever.
stream?
I see guy. I'm assuming that Looks like he's a little bit of a loner. There's probably some abs going on underneath that hoodie, some chest.
Mad disrespectful.
Say again.
That's nothing.
Oh my god,
Carry
I'm
on.
crushing my dreams. Did you say no?
No, I said mad disrespectful.
How is that disrespectful?
Like, he's probably a loner.
Probably no, but it's good to be a loner. Like, he
No, I'll
takes
take
time
it.
to go to the gym. He probably knows how to make a couple recipes. Like, no, he doesn't know how to do a lot, but whatever he does it well. Okay, got some time on his hands to play some video games. I like playing video games. Duh, Skyline apartment. Hello.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Well, yeah, it ain't gonna happen from playing video games, I can tell you that much.
It can happen for. I mean, I don't know. I don't need to know that much. Granddaddy died, whatever. I don't even need to know that much. I just need to know that my ass gets eaten whilst looking at that skyline view.
And that would be totally fine if the person is also getting something in return from it.
Yes. I've got. Come on, look. Have you not giggled whilst you're here?
Yeah, of course.
Personality. Great personality.
Right, but alright, so obviously there are men who are like, you could say it's somewhat predatory to say, yes, I'm gonna like get all of these trappings of success and like peacock for women. But don't you think those men are also gonna be aware of the type of woman that they're gonna attract?
Yo, it doesn't have to get that deep. No, we're not doing wedding bells. It doesn't even have to
No.
get that deep.
Yeah, it may not, right? Like to begin with. But after a while,
Sorry, I got my ADHD got the best of me. Some dude just posted a really interesting comment, and I just want to say that the answer is 100%. The answer is 100%.
what is 100%?
He said
did he
if
say?
you took ingredients for a cake and randomly threw them. Oh, I thought he meant threw them as in. See, that's my woman brain. I'm like throw them together in a bowl.
Oh, he
said threw them.
He's trying to make an argument for God.
Ah. See, I'm a simple girl, like I said.
There you go, bro. There you go.
Easy going. After a while, the relationship breaks if it's only based on desires. Oh my god. Anyway, this is getting way too deep. I'm just saying, there's everything right with everything I've said. Nothing wrong whatsoever.
Based on what?
Do you consider yourself to be philosophical?
I would like to think so, but I don't think I am. I don't think I've met that kind of a level of intelligence or inquiry yet, so...
Do you smoke weed?
No.
Okay. Are you like health conscious?
A little bit?
Do you drink alcohol?
No.
Are you an Aries?
No.
Are you a Taurus?
No. So, like, where's all this stereotyping? This is crazy.
Are you a Capricorn?
What, are you just gonna name them all?
No, but you are a Capricorn. You're either a Capricorn or a Virgo.
Well, you struck out then, because that's free.
You're a Virgo.
No.
You're a Capricorn.
No.
What the hell are you then?
Doesn't matter. Like I could say yes or no to any one of those things, and it still wouldn't make a difference.
It's not true. Oh my god, he is philosophical.
It would make no difference. I could literally like lull you into like a full sense of security. Like, yeah, you figured me out. Like, oh my gosh, I'd just be lying the whole time. So like,
Apparently, you're a Leo.
oh my gosh, what difference does it make? Is the question.
I just want to know where is this whole not drinking, not smoking thing coming from?
Making a decision to do that?
Yeah, so you're health conscious then, right?
Well, not necessarily. I still eat bullshit. I still like drink like coffee a lot and fucking Red Bull type shit. So
Like coffee's not necessarily unhealthy.
still eat cake and ice cream and all kinds of nonsense. So there you go. Not necessarily healthy.
Alcohol is a toxin, right? It's different from just having an ice cream sandwich. It's like a toxin.
This is true.
Where is divergent? What does that mean?
Huh? Ah, he's dread. Yeah, I do go to the gym when I get a chance.
She wants to know if the stars align. No, I just curious.
That's funny, bro. That's funny. So yeah, what difference would it make ultimately?
What your star sign is?
Yeah.
It wouldn't make a difference. I just want to know if there's anything to support my assumptions.
What are the assumptions?
That you don't drink and smoke for health reasons, and that has something to do with your star sign.
Why the star sign? Why not like at least some type of psychoanalysis? Like, oh, maybe you have some trauma, or maybe there's something that happened that made you not
Yeah,
smoke.
there's that.
You know,
There's
like,
that too. I mean, but it goes both ways. Like I've met people whose parents have, unalived from overdosing or addictions, and they still drink. And I've met others who wouldn't even consider it.
true.
Who have been through the same thing. So it all depends.
This is true. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what your assumptions are, to be honest.
You're not a Libra, though, are you?
Nope.
Thank God.
So what's that leave?
It leaves Gemini. Oh, you're a Gemini.
Nope.
Scorpio.
Nope. Like you've literally you've lost the plot.
Yeah,
you lost the plot. It could have been like from the beginning, like it was gonna go bad.
Are you Cancer then?
No.
Taurus.
No.
Aquarius.
Nope.
Pisces.
Nope.
But you've said no to all of them.
No, I haven't. Right, we're too early in the game. We can't even go in there yet.
Dude, you've said no to all of them. Oh my God, are you a Sagittarius?
Yeah.
Woo.
Now, how do your assumptions align?
Huh?
Now, how do your assumptions align?
Now I'm actually shocked at the fact that you don't drink or smoke.
Why?
Sagittarius tend to be like quite free spirited. They like breaking the rules.
Well, I guess you could say not drinking and smoking, if it's a cultural norm, would be breaking the rules.
That's true. And they do tend to be quite addictive personalities. So perhaps you could have, once upon a time, been prone to drinking or smoking.
Oh, of course I've drank and I've smoked.
Yeah, but prone to it. So
I don't really know what that means.
habitual, daily.
Well, no, not so much in the drinking, but I used to smoke.
Like there's no groceries in the house. Fuck it.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, but there's no weed. Shit, I better find myself outside then.
Hell no.
Really?
Hell no. Food comes first, mate. Always. It's actually where most of my money goes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Food and VPN.
Say what?
The braces as well. Are they? They're not. It's not giving like Invisalign. Is that?
It's train tracks.
So the classic.
Damn right.
Wait, are you a child?
Am I a child?
Yeah.
I'm an adult.
Okay. So like 25 plus.
Wait a second. Here's a question for you. Are you a child?
Absolutely not.
How old are you?
Old enough to say that I want to get my arse eaten in front of a New York skyline.
I don't know if that's a good criteria for terms and conditions, I'll be honest with you.
I'm an adult. What's going on with these train tracks? I thought that they don't even do those anymore.
Of course they do. I was about to make a comment that's kind of dread, but a lot of you lot are just not too scared. Scared to get braces.
How much are you paying a month?
Ain't none of your goddamn business.
Are you not paying?
Ain't none of your goddamn business.
I just want to know.
No, look, I have braces because I had a jaw operation, so I got like metal in my jaw.
Mm. What happened to your jaw?
I moved it.
How? When? What was the contact?
It doesn't really matter. Either way, I still don't see how this is helping you.
What do you mean?
Alright, anyway, so do you have any views on the stuff on the screen?
Honestly, changed my mind about what? Not really. I don't have any strong views. I don't believe that cancel culture is real. I don't think it really exists as that.
I can't hear you.
I said I don't believe in cancel culture. It's not real.
Why do you think that?
Because it's just a morality thing. Like somebody fucks up and then we're all like, oh my God, look, he fucked up. Even though we've probably all made the same fuck up or a similar fuck up ourselves.
Okay.
You know, it's just we just want to validate ourselves by saying like, look how, you know, morally superior I am to this guy. I'm so integral. Can't believe he did this. And then the funny thing is that whenever somebody does something that's deemed worthy enough to be cancelled over, and if they apologize, like, you know, that whole Maya Jama situation.
No, I don't.
No, you're a young one.
I'm not that young.
Maya Jama basically, when Twitter was a thing, she made some tweets apparently about dark-skinned black women.
Okay.
And then she came out. I guess her PR team told her to apologize. So she did. She came out with an apology, and that just set people off even more. Like, look, she knows what she's doing. It's intentional. Blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, you can't please everyone. But then the funny thing is, you know, give it a couple of years, and humans we're so self-serving. We're so greedy anyway, that as long as she keeps churning out whatever product is making them happy, her TV personality, whatever the fuck it is, as long as she keeps churning that out, they're still going to want some anyway. Even if she has said something mildly offensive, you know, because we're all hypocrites, and we know that we've done the same, if not worse, to other groups of people. So
there's truth to that. You could also say they get something from it in terms of so if you're like familiar with like UK history and tabloid culture, like scandals and shit, people get a rush from hate watching. So even that is something that people get out of it.
So I believe that they do like psych studies, right, where they basically say that the closest bonds between a group of two people are usually formed over the hatred of another person.
Yeah.
So
I can see that. Yeah. Sounds weak though. Yeah. Sounds weak as well.
Oh man.
But I can see it.
So that would be my opinion on cancel culture. Humans invented God, probably, you know, but there's nothing I feel like the stage that we're at in humanity now, there's nothing that can be done to undo that shit. Like that shit will never be undone.
Well, I mean, undone in what way? What do you mean?
I mean, like our entire way of living, society is founded on these, you know, mysteries, these alleged religious beliefs. Even the way that we fucking pass laws and bills, it's all founded on this shit. You know,
you're quite informed. I like that.
Am I?
Yeah, quite informed.
It's
indeed.
keeping us in check. You know, even if there is no man in the sky, I'm sure that millions of people are more than happy that we're waking up every single morning, that is quite a large group of brainwashed people that believe that if they do something, there's going to be some sort of spiritual repercussion. And so they're not doing that. So we're living in a fairly controlled society. And that is due to religion, nothing else.
No, I wouldn't agree with that part. Religion plays a part in it, but it's not the founding of it all.
You don't believe it's the foundation of it all?
No, because humans have existed long before religions were.
Exactly, and how were they existing? They were doing as they damn well pleased.
We still are.
Yeah, but not to that extent. Like we're largely communists, so we're not actually doing.
Sorry, we're largely communists.
Yeah,
who's to flesh that out then?
So basically, especially in first world countries like here in the United States, right?
You're in the UK. You're in the US.
No.
Oh, you said here in the United States.
I said here and the United States.
Ah, my bad.
Right, we don't have that many closed communities.
In what way?
Makes sense. Like, well, we have governments. Dun, 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 dun. Number one.
Yeah, but what do you mean by closed communities, though? What do you mean by that?
So back in the day, you're talking about before everybody was brainwashed and enslaved to religion, right? Back then, people would have their own closed communities. They'd have their own laws. They'd have their own beliefs. And if you came into their territory, or if you became a member of their community, or even if you just associated with somebody from their cult, you would be expected to abide by those laws, regardless of what you. Oh, I identify as a rainbow Christian. No, they don't give a fuck. You are like, you're on my soil. You're expected to abide by this. But now that's done away with. Now all of us
Not really.
are abiding to,
Not really. How is it done away with? People are
You
still
think
living like that. We live in a system like that.
where are they living like that? Not in the
Our,
first
our
world.
country functions like that. Do you not
No,
have
it
to abide by the
doesn't.
laws and traditions of the country if you live here?
Yes, everybody has to abide by the same laws.
Yeah, but say you go into a gated community of upper class or wherever you go, do they have different cultural standards and norms that you have to abide by if you're there? Or let's say you go to a poorer community, do they have different cultural norms?
No, they all have the same. You go to Lewisham and you murder somebody. It's the same as if you go to fucking, Old Town or Chelsea and murder somebody. You're still considered a murderer.
Yeah,
but back in the day,
on the
you go to
legal
Liverpool.
system, but not necessarily in the culture of that community or that area.
Yeah, but there's nothing they can do about that. You can't just say, oh well, we deem what this person has done to not break any kind of law because
No, but
X, Y, Z. No, the government's not going to hear that. They're going to say, no, this is a universal.
That's not true. That's not true, right? You could argue actually, the higher up you go in class and finances, the more you get away with crime. So that's not actually true. But even still, right? Your point was that there are these like private communities that existed back in the day where they decided their own fates and their own rules. And I'm just simply pointing out to you, yeah, it's still the same thing, but maybe just on a larger level.
It's too few and far for those private communities to have any kind of significance or power or even influence. The way things are, they're unlikely to change. And the power imbalance between just the average civilian and the state is increasing. And it's going to improve.
That I agree with. It's true. But yeah, what was the main point you was making before I distracted you?
I can't even remember now. I mean, we were talking about the invention of God.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of my point. Like the concept of God, the invention of God, whatever you want to call it, it's going nowhere fast. It's here to stay. And I know that there are communities that are really advocating for this. I can't remember how they referred to it, but they really want this thing to come to a halt, right? It's the way that we believe in God. And what we believe about God, but it's just never going to happen. It's never ever going to happen. You look at Muslims, and if you're born into a Muslim family, that's it. Boom, bam, bam, you're a Muslim. Nowadays, you're born into a Christian family. That's what, even the gays. If you're born or adopted into a gay family, boom, that's it. Straight up, you're part of that. You're part of that community. It's just the way we are.
So you're saying people are unable to transcend their original upbringing?
They are able to, but it's rare. And by the time they do, they're not able to have the influence that whoever founded this shit in the first place had. Do you know what I mean? They're not able to attain that level of influence. So there's very little change that can be done. They change within themselves, which is great for them, but they won't be able to create change or significant enough change that will do away with how we've become accustomed to human nature and the habits we picked up.
So do you think we're at the end of history then? Basically, nothing else can be done.
I really do.
Why?
I just think that things are going to get worse, honestly.
Well, if things get worse, then that means we're not at the end of history. Then still more could be done.
I don't know. Maybe I'm very big on doomsday. I love the idea of doomsday. I want to be here during Armageddon. Like, I don't want to miss out on that shit.
Every human thinks that's the case. Like, look, every individual human is going to have their last days. So everyone that's talking about the last days and the doom and the gloom, yes, there is a last day, and it is yours, and it's mine, and it's someone else's, but it ain't everybody's.
I get that, but if there is like a universal doomsday, then of course I want to be here.
My guy, you wish.
I'm nosy as fuck.
That would be the easy way out of life. Oh yeah, look, everyone has to go with me at the same time. No, life is a party that's going to carry on going after you leave. That's the reality, actually. The party's going to carry on.
That's deep.
Which sucks.
Then what do you believe about God?
I think humans invented God, at least all the ones that we know of.
So you don't have any opinions on the afterlife, life after death?
I think it's a possibility, but if you're to take, if you're at least to take the claims of religion seriously, then you're gonna at least inquire, right? How do you know any of that? What you're claiming to be true, considering that you're all alive when you were writing it. So. So if you actually think about it for a second, any tales about heaven or hell could at best only be allegorical or metaphorical. Because if we're to say, look, I'm not saying it's impossible for there to be an afterlife. It's absolutely possible. It's just whether it's what we think it is or not. But if we're just looking at the world and the way it currently functions, the ability to know something after you die doesn't seem to be an ability that humans possess. Because as we currently understand it, consciousness ceases when the body dies. So your ability to know stuff would also cease. So people who make these crazy claims about what happens after you die, you know, they're a bit questionable.
What about near-death experiences? I've met so many people that claim to have had near-death experiences.
Yeah, but what does that actually tell you though? They're still alive.
Yeah, near death.
There you go. They didn't die. That's like kind of the crux of it. They didn't die.
God, wrong.
So it's just a matter of whether you believe them or not. But even if you were to believe them, you can still question them. I don't know what to tell you, man. I guess that doesn't really drive well with the with tarot cards and birth charts and star signs and shit, huh?
Well, I don't use tarot cards anymore.
Well, I didn't know if you did or not, but I just categorically just put it out there.
It doesn't, but I'm open to all things. I've met all sorts of people with all sorts of opinions. I like your One Piece hat.
Oh, you know. Interesting. Yeah. Appreciate it. Random find.
What, the hat?
Yeah.
Do you have loads of cool clothes? Like, I feel like...
Nah.
You do.
Nah. I wear the same combination of stuff every day.
Yeah, you get really mad when girls go through your wardrobe.
Well, I wouldn't know. If they did, I wouldn't have been there.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't know. But yeah, I like to reduce decision fatigue. That's not to say I don't have a bunch of clothes, but I really don't care.
Fair enough. Do you support a football team?
No.
Really?
Yeah, really.
What is your sport?
I mean, I'm not a big sports fan, but if there was a sport I would pay attention to, it'd probably be boxing. So, it's too much money, too much politics.
Are you Nigerian?
Am I Nigerian? You really like trying to build a profile, isn't it? It's not clicking. Am I Nigerian?
Are you African?
Well, technically, yes. I think it's quite obvious. Technically, I'm African.
Well, no. Technically, you could be Caribbean.
Yeah, but I'd still be African.
Technically, you could be South American.
If you buy into certain views, maybe. But yeah.
You're East African.
Oh my. What made you think that?
I don't know. You look more like, oh no, you're not. You actually are Nigerian.
What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's mental. Oh my gosh.
No, it's just the angle that I just saw your face.
Oh my gosh. That is crazy. No, man. Get him to annoy me.
So you're Yoruba?
No. Look, I'll tell you like this. I don't actually know, right? I'm from the Caribbean, so it's a possibility that we're from all over the place. From what I do know, we do have a West African heritage. That's what I could say.
So you're Trini?
No.
You're Jamaican.
I'm English.
You're Trini.
I'm not Trini.
You're not English. You're definitely not English.
Yeah, not in the white
Don't do
sense. Not in the white
that.
sense.
Don't
No,
do that.
obviously
You're
not.
British. You mean you're
Well,
British.
look, you're correct. You're absolutely correct. I am British, but technically, if you want to actually look at like nationalities, geographically, I was born in England and I live in England, not Wales, not Scotland, not Ireland. So technically, but yes,
You're an English.
to ease racists, yeah, I guess you could say I'm British.
Fair enough.
But yeah,
But you're a
technically,
Caribbean boy.
yeah. But I was born here though.
And you're neurodivergent.
According to the chat, Jesus Christ.
So you haven't actually been tested or anything.
I don't know.
So how was that growing up? Because I know that Caribbeans, they don't really believe in that kind of...
Who? Man,
Well,
you're just full of stereotypes and assumptions, ain't you?
I am. I'm very prejudiced, I've been told. But Caribbeans, they really don't believe in any sort of SEN or
What is
anything
SEN?
that cannot be special educational needs.
I don't think that's true.
I mean, maybe perhaps not nowadays.
Man, they got to be ignorant then.
They are. Are you saying that they're not?
Ah, now I've clarified that you yourself are African. Nah, just joking.
I'm definitely not.
But yeah, like, jokes aside.
Wait, you think I'm African because I said that Caribbeans are ignorant?
No, obviously I was joking. But it is possible. That is a possible.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Where are you from?
Jamaica, Dominica.
Fair.
Fair.
Oh, okay, I see where we are now. They're not here though. Alright, anyways, anything else you want to add?
No.
Well, it was nice talking to you. You're welcome anytime. Take care. Alright, folks, what do you want to do? Do you want to restart the stream? You want to have some God debates? We want to talk about this cancel culture view? What are we trying to do? Damn it! Oh, just die then. Just die. We're trapped down there because I came into this part of the game too soon. There's parts that I need and I completely forgot about. I just thought I could speed run down there, which I cannot do. So, of the 5 people watching, now 4, what do you suggest we do? I'll take that as a you don't really care, so I don't really care. Let's do it like this. I think we also got we got to restart the red app too. The red app's not in the right place. While we're at it, do I even bother Karen trying to get out of this dungeon? I'm gonna need to, so I may as well. Let's quickly reboot this thing. Yo, what's up, Johnny? Thanks for tapping that like. Appreciate it. We'll end and reboot. Omega, what's up, bro? Come on in, folks. Come on in. Come up on the stage. Should be able to request up. I'll check just now that the button's working. Let's repost, let's tap, let's share, let's open the panel up for discussion. What we got? Mic test 1 2. I can't hear nothing, can you? Can you guys hear? What's up now? Neil? Niall. I'm gonna start calling you Niall, bro. Makes more sense. Oh no, I did the thing again. Oh well, look, we're gonna go live like this. Just have to do. Sound? Can you guys hear? Can you let me know if you can hear? Can I get a 1 in the chat or something akin to that? It's not working on my phone. Worldwide wire. Alright, who's in there? Me and somebody else. We're gonna have to build this thing back up from the bottom, man. It's so annoying. We're gonna have to build this thing. This is why, right? Don't be like me. Don't get distracted by other things in the real world. You get to keep your platform getting hundreds of views and just decide to completely pivot your life and do something else. Don't do that. Stick with it. Alright, let's tap the likes. Now let's test the guest request box. I don't see it. There it is. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. There we go. Oops. It's gonna be all jiggity jaggedy. It would do. Alright, what's up, Goose? I see you over there. My guy said accessing the dimensions has been an ancient practice. You can use D-rugs to do it. Not necessarily, bro. Your brain's just experiencing an illusion or a delusion. It's not actually accessing other dimensions. I mean, well, I'll put it to you like this. How the hell would you know? Hello?
Hey, hello.
What's up, bro?
So I guess I'd ask why would you say that humans invented God?
I think there's more evidence of humans inventing gods throughout history than there is evidence for gods existing independently of us.
So, like what?
Like what? So,
Like, are you saying like when the Romans would like point to the sun rising, they wouldn't know how, and they would just label it God?
well, I think people had sun gods long before the Romans. Like we're talking about our
No,
ancestors.
I know,
here.
but like I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, that's one of
Like,
the
is that what
examples.
you mean by humans invented God?
Yeah, that's one. I'd like any configuration of God that we can talk about, from polytheism, pantheism, panentheism, deism, dualism, animism, monotheism, etc. Any type of God that fits into any of those categories is a human invention, from my view.
Okay, so I'm Catholic, so why should I believe that the God of Catholicism is a human invention?
Well, I think actually you could trace the God of Catholicism, if you're saying that's the God of the Bible, to its inception in the Levant via basically Jews. So it was a local storm warrior deity known as Yahweh, who then adopts the properties of El Elyon, which is a Canaanite god, and becomes God the Father. But both the Canaanites and the Hebrews/Jews are building on stories left behind by the ancient Mesopotamians So their gods was Inanna, Ishtar, and Anu. So like you can kind of trace the history of the invention of your god. So I think that's why you should believe it, or at least acknowledge it.
Well, you told me the conclusion, like what you say that Catholicism would trace back to, but like why would you say it traces back? Like why should I believe that's what it traces back to?
Because it's documented.
Like, okay, where? On what?
So if you basically go look into Jewish history, right? So basically people
Where in Jewish history? You just saying go look into this is not a reason for me to believe it's a human invention.
Just search it up. I mean, I can tell you exactly where to look.
So you have the prompt up, but you can't actually tell me why it's a human invention.
Oh yeah,
just only say that it's a human invention.
I could absolutely tell you why it's a human invention. So there's a cognitive theory called hyperactive agency detection device coined by a guy called Justin Barrett. That combined with evolutionary psychology and biology explains how and why humans invented gods. And if you study something like anthropology, you can see different cultures using those exact tools to create different gods. Your god also fits into those categories.
Okay, again, you're just telling me the conclusion. I'm asking why.
I just told you why.
Why should I believe that?
Oh, I can't give you reasons why you should believe it. It's up to you whether you want to.
You can't tell me why it is that my God fits into that category?
I just did.
No, you told me that he fits into that category.
So
I'm asking you why
the history of your god starts as an elemental warrior god. Okay? Hyperactive agency detection
I would disagree
device.
with that.
Well, so you're saying that's not the vision of Yahweh?
So rather, because this is like scholarly stuff where they debate writing in like books and stuff. We're not gonna do this in like a 10-minute discussion. So how about I rephrase my question into, why should I believe Catholicism traces back to man-made invention in light of certain...
I'm not taking that burden. I'm not taking that burden on, so it doesn't really make a difference to me. It's not my burden to carry. If you want to believe what you want to believe, it's up to you. But there's evidence out there to support what I'm saying.
Okay, so then... Okay, let me just ask the question. Why should I believe the God of Catholicism is a human invention in light of certain miracles like Our Lady of Zayton?
Oh boy, that's cope. Right. I literally just told you. So are you saying the God of Catholicism is a different God to the God of the Jews?
Hold up. Answer my... I'm saying in light of the miracles like Our Lady of Zayton, why should I believe the
miracles
Catholic
have
God
nothing
is
to do with
invention?
Miracles have nothing to do with the conversation. Miracles are like a subset of the conversation.
Oh, so you're not gonna... Okay, so you can't engage with Our Lady of Zayton?
So the existence of God is the primary or the substance of the conversation. Your belief about miracles, religious specific miracles as well, is secondary to the topic.
So, no, it's not, because I would say that these miracles vindicate God's existence, because these miracles are not possible.
All right, so why don't you define...
All right, so can I lay out the evidence for the miracle?
Yeah, define a miracle first, and then we'll see.
Yeah, that which exceeds any natural, explanation.
And done with what?
What do you mean? That's my definition.
No, not your definition. The definition.
Wait, do you think words just have, the definition?
Yeah, so a standard definition of a miracle is something that breaks with natural laws and is done with divine intervention. Do you agree with that definition?
All right, yeah, I'd agree with that definition.
All right, so it's not your definition, and that's a definition that's agreed upon, not your definition.
Yeah, I also just said that that's pretty much what I said.
Right. So go and carry on with your miracle.
All right. So in 1968, there was this Coptic church in Egypt, Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt. It lasted over the course of 3 years, where this luminous figure of light appeared over this church that appeared to be the Blessed Virgin Mary. Crowds of So why should I believe that this miracle did not happen?
It's not my business. I don't care what you believe about the miracle. The question is whether it is actually legitimately a miracle or not. So
that's what I mean when I say why should I believe this isn't a miracle.
So that miracle has various different competing hypotheses on what actually took place. The most popular being that it's an optical illusion. So being that there's competing hypotheses, and they include things that occur within the parameters of the laws of nature, one could argue that's not a miracle by the standard definition. The only thing that would be left to prove is that there was divine intervention that made that happen. So what you believe about miracles, again, means little to what we're discussing.
What? So If I can't, all right, can you lay out the optical illusion hypothesis then? Why should I believe this, or why
Just
is
go
this
look into it. I don't really care to educate you on that. If you want to find out, go look it up. You saw how quickly I just showed you the picture. It means more. Anyways, look. It's up
You
to
said
you.
what?
It's up to you if you want to go look into that. It's not my job to educate you on that. There are competing hypotheses that are still within the natural parameters for that miracle. So it's up to you what you want to do with that information.
Okay, so I'm just confused. It just sounds like anything that I question, you just like refuse to engage with.
I did engage with it.
No, you just saying, hey, there's this hypothesis out there surrounding this
Remember what your
event that
remember
you're
what your
bringing up is
definition
not
was? Remember what
definition
your
of what?
definition of a miracle was? What was your specific definition?
Yeah, mine, the one I gave or the one you gave?
The one that you gave.
Yeah, I said that which exceeds any like natural explanation.
Yeah, so it does have natural explanations. That better justify that actual event than your view that it's a miracle.
Yeah, but I would argue that those explanations are insufficient explanations. They do not explain
Why?
the what?
You a minute ago you was completely unaware of those. So explain to me why.
Explain what?
Why they are insufficient.
Well, that's why I'm asking you to lay it out. That's why I said I would argue that
It's an
these
optical illusion.
explanations are insufficient.
Go look into it. It's considered to be an optical illusion.
Okay, so just go look into it. You can't tell me why. Like,
shit, it has something.
It just kind of sounds like a dodge.
It has something to do with how the light's refracted, and that's as much as I could tell you as a
All right, so do you think that there was like a projector
or a layman?
involved?
Right, no, it doesn't necessarily.
You believe that there was a projector
It
involved?
doesn't need to be a projector involved to be an optical illusion. What are you talking about?
Okay, so what is the what's this cause for? Because remember, there's crowds of like
look
hundreds of
into it.
thousands.
Yeah, I know.
There's
I know.
crowds of
I know
hundreds
about
of
the
thousands of
miracle.
people at a time. They all experience the same optical illusion.
I know. Yes, that's how optical illusions work. Multiple people can see them.
All right, and what would be like the cause to this optical illusion? What
It has something to do with the light. It has something to do with how the light is refracted. The sunlight. But anyways,
Wait, I got a call. What'd you say?
Look, anyways, I'm not wasting any more time on this. Do you have reasons?
Like,
for
you
me,
think that the sun causes optical illusion?
Do you have reasons for me to think that humans did not invent God?
Yeah, because God has vindicated his existence through miracles.
Yeah, so why should I think miracles exist?
Our Lady of Zayton.
No, that doesn't meet the criteria for a miracle. We just went through that.
Wait, you're just positing a natural explanation doesn't make it a natural event.
It occurred within the natural parameters, the natural laws. So it didn't break with the natural laws, and you can't prove that it was a God who did it. So why should I think it's a miracle?
Okay, but is God bound by natural laws?
I don't know.
Wait, just because it didn't break natural laws doesn't mean that there's a natural explanation.
I can't make claims about a supernatural metaphysical entity. That's
do you
a
think
religious
just because
job.
it didn't break any natural laws, does that mean that there's a natural explanation?
It occurred, yes. It occurred within natural parameters. Or that it's not
supernatural?
It occurred. It wouldn't be, bro. If you could see it, then it's probably not supernatural. If multiple people could see it, then that means it took place. It took place in the natural world. Okay.
Okay, so when the government of Egypt,
claims of supernatural. No, just listen. By definition,
the government of Egypt,
claims of supernatural things.
Sources of power to that entire region of the city, and the light was still there, and there was no source to this light.
You're cooked, bro.
Okay, is it within the natural laws?
So let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
What?
Do you believe in the same miracles that Muslims and Hindus and Jews believe in, or do you believe in Catholic?
No, I believe that on the presentable data that their miracle claims fall short.
So you don't believe in so you don't believe in miracles reported by other religions?
No, I believe in some, sure.
Interesting.
Well, my worldview doesn't like commit me to not believing in those.
That's interesting, isn't it?
I just don't believe they have to be from God to be supernatural or to be a miracle.
So at the risk of us just walking through your cognitive biases, why don't you go find a miracle from another religion and see if it comports with your view on miracles?
Well, I just said I agree that there are miracles that happen within other religions.
Yeah, so perhaps you should find one.
Why?
Because you're claiming a supernatural or universal level entity speaks to humanity through miracles, yet you're only willing to talk about miracles that pertain to your culture and religion.
I never said that he speaks to humanity through miracles.
Oh, you said something to that effect.
I don't believe in public revelation.
Something to that effect. But anyways, right? Why should I think humans didn't invent God?
I already said because God has vindicated his existence through miracles.
Through miracles, right? And we just went through that specific miracle that you offered, right? And it doesn't really meet the criteria of a miracle.
Yeah, and you just you refuse to engage.
What are you
Alright, so
talking
can you-
about?
alright, then
What
let
have
me
we
ask
spent the
you one
last 10
question
minutes doing here?
Can you explain?
Right.
Can you
No,
explain?
it's not my duty to explain anything that you present. It's your job to do that. It's burden shifting.
Okay, then I'll present. Okay, so the Egyptian government cut off all like sources of power to that
Cool.
entire region of the city,
Cool story.
and the light was still appeared.
Cool story. No one said it was a flashlight or a room light or a floodlight, did they?
Okay, so you just believe in that there is this mass optical illusion?
Cool story. Anyways, any reasons that I should think humans didn't invent God?
You're the one that's making the positive claim.
Yeah, and I
The burden
supported
of
it.
proof would be on you.
I did support it. I said there's a cognitive theory called hyperactive agency detection device, and our ancestors.
No,
would
that's
have
you
used
laying
that.
out the conclusion. You've yet to justify anything.
I'm explaining it.
You just keep saying, "Hey, there's
So,
this
sorry,
and this
so
and this,"
explain the conclusion.
but I'm not going to tell you why it is I believe
Explain
this
to
or why
me,
anybody
or
else should
relay
believe
to me
this.
the conclusion that I made.
Huh?
Relay to me the conclusion that I just stated.
That you just stated?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the one that you just stated. I can
But
tell you the one that you stated before.
quick. You were quick to tell me that it was a conclusion that I'm stating, but you can't state it.
What, the one that you said before? How
Doesn't matter.
you said that
Anyone.
that Yahweh traces back to being some like warrior god?
Is that a conclusion or is that a piece of information?
That's a conclusion. You're saying,
Alright,
hey,
so-
yeah, humans are.
So
You say humans
do you
invented God
deny?
because we can look.
So do you deny that the origin of the God of the Bible starts with Yahweh?
Wait, is that not the conclusion? Is the conclusion not that Yahweh
No.
traces back
So
to
when I a
man-made
minute
invention?
ago,
Wait, so then what's the
I began
conclusion?
to. This is you who called it a conclusion, right? So a minute ago, I was beginning to lay out how humans invented God, and you was like, "But that's the conclusion. That's the conclusion." And I said, "State the conclusion."
No, because you literally told me to just go look into it.
No, right. So, anyways, right.
No, that's literally
You're
what
asking
you
me-
said. You said it like 4 times. This
You're asking me,
conversation.
right, why I think humans invented God, and I was explaining why I think humans invented God. And you're telling me that that's a conclusion.
No, and then you named this guy, named like the work that he put out, and then you said
Yeah.
you can go read about it.
That's the reasons that support my claim.
I want you to give me the reasons. I don't
I
want you
just
to say,
did.
Hey, here's this book. I can do.
I
the same
literally
thing."
just did. All right, if you listen, I'll tell you the reasons why I think humans invented God. Again, listen very closely, okay?
Okay.
So, there's this cognitive theory called hyperactive agency detection device or hypersensitive agency detection device. And it's known that humans use this ability based on survival to assign agency to elemental things and celestial things. Why do they do it? To survive, right? So that's the initial reason why I say what I'm saying. And it's supportable if we start looking at different cultures and the types of gods that they produced. Right? Those are reasons that support my claim.
Okay, so I should believe
You
humans
don't
were
have to.
invented by.
You don't have to. The question on the
Alright.
screen is positing to you. Change my mind. Right? Well, not positing, but it's geared to you to change my mind. I'm not asking you to believe what I believe.
So then, if I give you like an argument for the existence of God,
Well, you can try. If it's going to be like a decent one, it might work. But if not,
well, have you heard of the argument for motion?
yeah, just give it.
Okay, would you agree that change exists?
What do you mean by exist?
Like that there's this thing within the universe that we can look at and call change?
I don't know. That's a bit vague to me.
Okay, so then what do you take exist to mean?
No, something that's not imagined, something in reality. But I don't know.
Wait, so you don't believe that concepts exist?
I also think there's different modes of existence too. So, but let's
Right,
let's
so
not go
if
that
something
far.
can exist as a concept, it would exist, right?
Well, it depends. The
It
concept
depends, so
exists.
concepts don't exist?
Yeah, the concept exists, but not necessarily the thing by virtue of the concept existing.
Okay, so, alright, would you
Oh, I
agree
went the
that,
wrong way. Shit.
would you
Yeah.
agree that actuality exists?
I don't know what that means, bro.
Yeah, like the state of just being what is.
I don't know. I don't know, but I think you should just give the argument though.
That's kind of, okay, change exists. Change is the actualization of potential. Either these chain of actualizers actualizing goes back in an infinite regress, or it terminates in a first mover, it cannot go back in an infinite regress, therefore it terminates in a first mover.
Why can it not go back in infinite regress?
Yeah, because an infinite regress would fail to give any coherent explanation as to why there is this actualization of potential.
Explain it.
Yeah, so would you say that anything can actualize its own potential?
Don't know.
Don't know? Okay, so do you know what I mean when I say actualization and potential?
Not necessarily, no.
Alright, so actualization is going to be like the bringing about of one's potential. So like if we have like a pot of water, it's going to be actually room temperature, but it has the potential to be boiling. It cannot just on its own just go from actually room temperature to actually boiling. It must be an outside force in which brings upon this like actualization of the boiling. Would you agree with that?
I don't know, but continue.
You don't? Okay, bro. I'm not gonna engage with you anymore then.
Well, I wanted to hear the conclusion of why I should think that infinite regress is impossible. Anyways, Tinkerbell, what's up?
No, it's just me.
Who's me?
Arco, silly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna say I'll be back.
How would I know it's you?
Cause it's in the comments, but then everyone was arguing because of that guy. So I was like, damn it.
Okay.
See, I'm not African.
What do you mean you're not African?
You said because I said that Caribbeans are ignorant.
I said I accepted that. No. I totally accepted that you're from. Would you say Guyana and Jamaica?
No.
It was something
Where
with
are
a
you
G.
from? Guyana.
It was something with a G, wasn't it?
Jamaica.
Yeah, and somewhere else.
Dominica.
Sorry, my bad. All right. So yeah, I accepted that fact. So I didn't need you to prove that you're not.
Okay.
An African national, but you're most definitely an African by descent.
Yeah, somewhere.
Somewhere.
Somewhere, somehow. Anyway, I'm gonna dip.
Okay, thanks. Appreciate you. Anyways, no disrespect. I mean, like I thought you were just going to present an argument or something on the topic. But yeah, like not to be. I was being a bit obtuse to that guy, right? Because like I'm somewhat distracted. But yeah, he's more than welcome to give the argument if he wants to give it. But he should have offered more clarity on why there can't be an infinite regress, right? But it sounded like a little bit of gibberish to me, so I tuned out, and that's just my bad. But you're welcome to come back and say it anytime. Comment? Yeah, I somewhat agree with that. And the only reason I agree with that is, look, ironically, I'm going to lean on the authority of someone and say that there's no authority. But the only reason I agree with that is because Graham Uppy said that at some point. So there are no authorities in theology and philosophy. Sorry. It's ironic, isn't it? What's up, Q-Honor? Damn. I don't even want to play this game right now. We're just stuck in a dungeon. It's kind of boring. Going down some aliens. Slice up some things. Should we have a little tinker on this, bro? Just bought it for no reason at this point. Come up, lilies. Come explain it to me.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
Not bad, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, in some aspects, cancel culture has worked with certain creators kind of being shadow banned or not as popular anymore because of certain accusations, and sometimes cancel culture can definitely be a witch hunt, like whatever just happened with Dean Withers, but I don't know, there are certain content creators who do egregious things and seem to be able to evade cancel culture, if you understand what I'm kind of trying to explain.
I'm not aware of the Dean Withers thing though, to be honest with you.
He was accused of having or assaulting like a young girl, but it turns out that the young girl didn't know him and her identity was stolen by someone who made the accusations. So we had to come forward and say, hey, this is like bogus and like a witch hunt. But yeah, that just
I
talks
wonder
about the
why
pervasiveness
anyone would
of
do
cancel
that.
culture. Because he's very anti-MAGA, so I assume someone who was MAGA tried to do that to discredit his political platform.
I wonder why someone might do that. I'll just fucking with you. But yeah, carry on.
Well, I just think that there should be accountability for creators when they do things that are egregious, at least from the platforms themselves. But I don't know, I think usually cancel culture comes from a place of jealousy, or I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think certain creators should be held more accountable for their actions, particularly when they're exploiting people for their content.
Well, yeah, I think that's a fair assessment, but I think it should, obviously, context of what you're talking about is one thing, but I think it should most definitely actually expand beyond consumption of media. It should go into what's considered activism and boycotting, and real effective change is what it should be directed towards initially. But I would say the critique on it is that people have they've been bamboozled into thinking they're participating in activism when really all they're doing is just expressing, like you would say, hyper-capitalism. They're just helping decide who has access to the market and who doesn't.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I guess I should also clarify what you mean by cancel culture, but what you were talking about with like pseudo activism really reminds me as an American of like when George Floyd was like brutally murdered and then everybody was posting like black pictures to like undo police racism or anything or something, and now we have ICE and everything else and it's a million times worse. So there's a lot of like pseudo activist measures that are really just feeding into the platform and the algorithms that perpetuate such hatred. So
It's a put it this way, the initial concept, right, should actually be about activism. It should be about legitimizing the experiences of victims. But people have taken that and been able to parlay that into political capital, financial capital, or cultural capital. So legitimate victims aren't even necessary anymore. Legitimate crimes aren't even necessary anymore. It's just the credit or the clout that comes with the pretense of victimhood, which is dangerous.
yeah, I definitely agree. Or canceling certain people for saying or making certain references that they don't realize the implications behind that. For example, there was a woman who made like, do you know like carabiners, like what you use to like attach stuff with like your backpack or for climbing? There was a woman in America who made a carabiner company called a slur for Mexicans. It also has to do with beans, and she was canceled for it, but she didn't realize it was a slur.
Okay. So, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense too. But was she really cancelled though? What is considered cancelled?
Just kind of people like reporting her shop and her business. She eventually came out and apologized, and I think had kind of like a redemption arc. But yeah, I think there's it gets to a point where people can't even have controversial opinions that aren't perpetuated by hate without being attempted to be canceled. And like you said, it's just people clout chasing and performing victimhood, if you will, in order to elevate their own platforms.
It's basically become an authoritarian weapon. But what it actually does create is it creates not necessarily a power vacuum. It's like you could legitimately be wrong about something, but because you're being targeted by this group of people who aren't actually operating in a virtuous way, you create a foundation for that wrongness in a whole other space. Like if you were to look at some of the more extremes of conservatism and far rightism or anti-woke ideologies, like that's a byproduct of people who are thinking that they're doing something genuine and virtuous, but are really just participating in bullshit. It's a direct byproduct of it. So at the point in which you create that tension, now for some types of people, being cancelled also becomes cultural capital, also becomes political clout, also becomes economic advantage. So it's kind of dumb.
Well, I think it's interesting that you were connecting anti-wokeness with cancel culture, because when I think of wokeness, I feel like it embodies cancel culture.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It creates that negation of identity, which is anti-woke.
Right.
So
Well, I think
it's backfired.
also, like, it's no one ever is going to change their mind by you saying that they're dumb or no one should interact with them. Like, we're not
No,
having
yeah, I don't
productive
think.
conversations.
I don't legitimately think
by
people are
thinking
dumb
of-
like that, but yeah.
But that's the way that cancel culture focuses. It's very like black-white binary. You're either right or you're wrong. There's no room for gray area, which is obviously not productive to learning, growth, development, or politics, because no one is going to change their mind because you told them they're wrong. You have to understand their personal background and why they've developed their opinions. So yeah, I think the black-white binary of cancel culture is probably the most problematic aspect of it.
Yeah, you're right. You should try to understand the nuance and the context if possible. But that's the irony of it all. You've actually created that kind of 1 degree separation from like a somewhat liberal view to a fascist view. It's like, no, you cannot. This is the only right way, and it's the right way because we say it's the right way. Like, you create, like, one could say, right, at least how cancel culture is played out, it expresses like a reactionary far right or conservative politic within it. Although these are people who are purporting to be fighting for black rights, gay rights, like sexual assault, justice, all these things, they actually play out the opposite ideology, unintentionally. At least that's a view. It's not necessarily a fact.
Right. Like they'll claim to believe in these rights and yet do things that are, I guess, considered to be microaggressions, which is a term I'm not super huge fan of, but or continue to perpetuate stereotypes about certain people despite claiming, oh, I'm for gay rights, but I just don't have any gay friends, or I don't think that they should be able to do certain things like get married in a church. They can get married elsewhere, but churches are religious and they shouldn't mess with my religion, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it because they've you somewhat commodified the identity of the person you're claiming to protect, or like some people might describe it as like infantilization. I think obviously, actually considering this whole conversation, one of the most interesting and probably dangerous critiques is from Zizek about how that actually plays out in terms of like minimizing the identity of the thing or the people you're claiming to be for. So he has like this bit about I think he was having a conversation with a Native American of some kind, and I think he called him an Indian or something like that. And someone else stepped up and was like, "Oh no, you can't call him an Indian." Started to express, or like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying his opinion is completely right here, and it doesn't also have some, let's say, it doesn't give some leeway to extremists too. So I'm cognizant of what I'm saying, but I just don't mean it in that way. But anyways, right. So apparently he called the guy an Indian, like an American Indian type of thing, right? And one of the other people were like, "Oh no, you can't do that. Like that's wrong. Like just being like a somewhat of a virtue signal, right?" But the kind of the crux of the joke is that the Indian was like, no, like you should call me an Indian because at least it reminds me of the stupidity of white people. Like the guy thought he was going to India and this is America, so like I know that joke is terrible, but it also kind of highlights I put it like it's not just a white thing, it's a black thing, it's all kinds of people, right? But the view is that you think you can actually legitimize or you make use of your white privilege by sheltering or like putting angel wings over someone else, but whilst doing that you actually take away from what it is to be that thing, because who decided that you have the power or the platform to be able to do that, do you know, or to play the role of guardian, to play the role of cultural corrector, all these kinds of things. That's the critique of it essentially.
Right. And I definitely understand your point, but I think that also plays into a larger portion of identity politics where I think not every plays into a larger portion.
Icon, I think that's you, mate.
I think not plays into. Sorry, the back play. Where we shouldn't. Okay, so I'm white, right? So I shouldn't expect a black person to have to educate me on black rights or the difficulties that black people face. That should be something I educate for myself, and I should never speak out on black issues on behalf of black people, obviously. But at the same time...
Not necessarily.
No.
Right, not necessarily. I don't think that view is holds in all circumstances either.
How so?
Well, for instance, if you was going to speak out about black issues or gay issues or trans issues, wherever it is, to a community that's relative to your experience or where you're from, then that makes a lot of sense. But it just depends on the context. I think that matters a lot.
Wouldn't it make more sense, though, to utilize my privilege to elevate those individuals who have actually experienced the discrimination, the biases, instead of me trying to pontificate and speak for an experience I myself have not
Yes.
lived through? Like, I understand I can speak about my experience of what I have witnessed, but I, of course, never have lived through, let's say, what a Black American has lived through.
You're correct, right? But that's what I'm saying. The context applies. If you were arguing in a room full of just white people, let's say you're in a certain class or tax bracket where a black person wouldn't actually be able to enter that room and argue on their behalf anyway, then it at least makes sense for you to put forth the potential issues with what people are saying in that room. But if you was to say, look, I'm going to go into a space where this protected characteristic group are, and then start speaking on their behalf, then yeah, you kind of fuck it up, you know, because they're already there.
Right. Well, I think also the issue is the nuance, right? The Black American population isn't a monolith, for an example. And there's my ability to misinterpret how Black Americans experience discrimination. So even if I can speak to what I have witnessed, it's also important for those who I'm like sort of reporting to recognize my subjective bias, that I can never fully encapsulate the Black American experience because of my identity. Yet if I go to a room full of white people and for some reason I am the one trying to communicate this to them, there's a margin of error of which I'll be able to communicate on behalf, so to speak, of the Black American experience.
This
you
is
get what I mean.
Yeah, that is true too. But this is why the critique is funny and it plays out in this way, is because the person who purports or aims to act the most moral ultimately creates a place where he exists in like a paralysis or paralyzed state. There is no right move you can make if you're constantly trying to be virtuous or signal virtue and be correct, morally correct at all times. Because you have to remember, all views on what morality is, whether you're a moral realist or not, still depend on what you take to be moral facts and how you arrived at that conclusion. That makes sense. So at the point where you would just be like, oh shit, I don't know if I could say this, I don't know if I could say that, I don't know if I could do this. That's a kind of grave you dug for yourself. Like, you should, it's don't get me wrong, what you're saying is correct and it's valid, and I'm not giving a green light to be racist or sexist, whatever it is people may be hearing me saying and misunderstanding. I'm not green lighting prejudice at all, right? All I'm trying to say is, depending on what your goals and your aims are for what you're trying to achieve, you shouldn't try to put political correctness above doing what is right or what is true. Because at the end of the day, that political correctness is a construct or a constraint on you anyway. It's like in an analogy, right? It'd be like someone saying to you, hey, you can't climb on top of that statue and defecate on his head as a protest. Right? And you capitulate and say, you know what, actually, I can't climb on top of the statue and defecate on his head. You're right, I should operate I should protest within these parameters that you've set out for me. It's the same thing by saying I should be politically correct. So you, in that sense, you can't be revolutionary or radical because you're abiding by a set of rules and principles that were never developed for you to do the right thing in the first place. It was just to capitulate to power. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense, and I think that's a really important point. I think I kind of got sidetracked with thinking about cancel culture and also this issue of like cultural appreciation versus cultural appropriation also in that same vein, and I wondered like what your thoughts about that aspect would be.
I mean, yeah, I think both are important things to be aware of. I think we're all guilty of it in some capacities, but not to be too like lax about it, but I do think it depends on the situation you're talking about. Like, if you're just like gonna go out and just pretend to be Malibu's most wanted, then that might be funny to an extent, but it might also be problematic. Like, so it just depends what the context is.
Yeah, I'm thinking about a lot like with white people getting dreads or white people getting braids. Hold on one second.
Yo, Icon.
Hello?
What's up, bro?
What's up, son? Do you need the age for TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, if you wanna stay, if you know you're too young to be on TikTok, you probably shouldn't be on it.
Yeah,
But
I'm not keen. I mean,
thanks for clarifying.
yeah. Um, yeah, your prompt. Humans invented God. I'm assuming you're not a theist, for sure.
Nah, the fuck is this?
Yeah. What's that?
No, I was looking at this enemy. I was like, what is that? It's a bear, a panda. Yeah, but sorry. Anyways, go on.
Well, first of all, before we get to the substance, like I like your your setup. Like I've never seen any other people do this where they play games and talk about relatively deep topics. So
Oh
it
yeah.
might be like a new.
Nah, it's not new. I've been doing this for a long time, but people just jacked the platform and then just didn't give credit. So I appreciate you for acknowledging that.
How do you do that? Like like play games and then like talk.
I mean,
about, like that's multitasking.
I'm ADHD, I think, right? But it doesn't mean that
Wow.
I'm actually saying anything of importance too. So consider that. I'm probably not saying anything of consequence. No.
Well, that's impressive. Yep.
There's that.
Well, okay. If I have to introduce myself, well, I'm a Christian, right? But I'm assuming you're not a theist to begin with. Your first statement that humans invented God. Yeah. Are you saying like that humanity like wants to depict God in some way that
Wait.
they find?
Icon. Not to interrupt you, right? But let's let Lily finish her point that she wanted to make.
Okay.
I think she went somewhere quickly.
Sorry, I just had to talk to someone. Yeah, I just wanted to wrap up my point, just asking you about your opinions about specifically like white people appropriating or appreciating Black culture through things like wearing braids or dreads or things like that, and how that is perceived and how that's used as like bait for, or fuel rather, for like cancel culture through this appropriation or using a black scent or things like that to gain
Black scent is
clout
funny.
because now Black culture is more pervasive in the popular culture. So people like Ariana Grande, for example, have been accused of black fishing or using a black scent to gain more
Oh no, this is real though.
clout.
This is something that actually does damage people and hurt people. So this is a real concern. But I don't know if right. Any way I would approach this, it would be in that same kind of paralysis type of state that I was just describing to you. Right? There are people who are disproportionately affected by appropriation, and then there are people who just want clout from being able to call it out. But again, I think the context of what is actually taking place matters a lot. If you're asking me personally, do I care about some like random person wearing dreads? No. I might snigger at it. I think that's kind of goofy. But if I actually got to know the person and got to know why, then maybe I might see it as permissible. Not to say that I have power to tell them what they can and can't do anyway, But I think it really depends what's going down. Like if you're gonna be like, look, I'm gonna come onto the internet, I'm gonna like, right. So this same view can be expressed in like game culture and gamers. So I think I'll reduce the analogy to something more like that, right? Let's say there are a bunch of kids one day just like kicking ball in their street, right, in their little ghetto where they live, or this council estate. And one of the kids doing this crazy trick, right, just with the ball, and no one's ever seen him do. But the kid's also got like a very interesting, peculiar fashion style. What happens historically is people will come and they'll see that kid and they'll study him and like, what is it that makes that kid, right? And they'll break down all the things about him in order to like basically corporatize his essence, put it into a package and sell it as him, like his essence of his uniqueness. That is what happens in terms of appropriation and cultural theft, and it hurts and damages people. But to say that all people that participate in that willingly, or say all people that do that are doing it willingly or knowingly, is another thing. But there are people who are absolutely are saying, for example, I'm presenting this to the world for the first time, knowing damn well that they studied the little black kid, they got his fashion, they got his hair, they got his idea, and are just stealing it or trying to get out in front of him. We see it with like TikTok creators, one-to-one videos and shit. So stuff like that, one could argue, yes, there is malicious intent behind it and you should speak up about it. But I think it would vary. The degrees on which you could say the action is like socially sanctionable would vary depending on what is taking place and what the context of it is. I know it wasn't an answer, but
No, it was a good answer, and I appreciate your response, but I'll let you debate the religious aspect now, I'm interested to see how you can deconstruct the logical fallacies that go with Abrahamic religions.
I don't know if I'm capable of that, but yeah, I'll take the charge now. I appreciate it.
Well, apparently the smartest person in the world believes in God, so everybody else must be an idiot, right?
Oh shit! Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. Chris, you cooked yourself on that one. All right. So, Ladies, you're more than welcome to stay up. Icon, Darren, anything you want to say? Jump in.
Oh yeah. So like when you say like humans invented God, are you just talking the fact that humanity just invents God to think? How do you say this? Like, kind of like reflect their own anthropomorphism.
Yes, to an extent. I think humans are either lucky or unfortunate to only be able to operate from a place of being human. We can't really think outside of that. So,
well, I guess let's get to the point here. So you're definitely not a theist. So you don't believe
not
in God.
Not at least in not at least this current iteration of me. Right, I'm not convinced of these ideas. I'm more agnostic, atheist than anything else.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, just to I guess not try to go right away to the substance. Like I mean, as a non-theist, let's say for the sake of argument, you're non-theist. Like you can also say that like you think people genuinely believe God exists, but they don't invent God to like fit their own anthropomorphism, right?
No, I do think people who believe in God now, as they stand, like if you're just like talking about a 3-0 type of God, I think they're just the product of ancestors inventing that God, and it's just something that they traditionally uphold without maybe acknowledging that.
Well, I mean, then the argument just becomes whether or not that God actually exists, right? I mean, it's not like accounting for like people's psychological state of like inventing God or like just making up God in their own mind.
Say
like
sorry, say that again. I'm a little bit distracted, bro. Sorry, can you say it again?
Like some agnostic or atheist, they could just say like they genuinely think that theists actually believe that God is something higher than themselves and not just inventing them. But like, are you?
I wouldn't take it away from.
That,
I wouldn't take it away from a theist. I wouldn't take it away from a theist to say that they don't believe what they're saying. I wouldn't say that.
Okay. Well, then, is it more internal critique when you say that you think religious people invent God, or is it more like a statement that God doesn't exist anyways?
No, I would just say there's more evidence of humans inventing all different types of gods and different configurations historically than there is evidence of gods existing independently of us. That's just kind of the set point of my view.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. But let's say take a majority religion, Islam, Christianity, Judaism, all these main monotheistic religion. You would say like they genuinely believe that their God exists, right?
Yeah, I think the followers do believe it. At least what would you say? Yeah. Anyways, go on.
So I mean, if I'm being very honest, I was actually I was thinking of going the path where showing God exists, but like I mean the prompt just says that humans invent God, and I agree that a lot of humans invent God. So I don't think I have to go through like showing you all possibilities of God being invented or non-invented if he exists. So I think that's just like not on my part to do that. So now that I think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean,
if I'm not mistaken, there's a term for that. When you believe in something, you believe in something so much, and the general public believe in something so much, it manifests itself to be true when it in all actuality it's not. That is what we did with God. I am an atheist. I don't believe there's a God. But I believe that y'all believe there's a God so much, and there's such a big crowd of people who believe in God, y'all manifested this God to yourselves.
Yeah,
that's an aggregate.
There's an internal critique aspect, right? Like an if-then condition. Like if this God actually really exists, what do you expect to see the people form a set of belief about that, or what do you expect to see, if God exists versus if God does not exist, something like that. I don't know.
I would expect him to come and fix majority of these problems that's happening in the world if a God really exists. An all-loving and all-powerful God wouldn't allow the things that happen in this world to actually happen. That's why I don't believe a God exists. Like everything, like anything that happens that's bad, y'all chalk it up to being God working mysterious ways. But anything that happens good is all part of God's plan.
Well, as a Christian, I don't believe that. I actually believe that God I think God allowing, like, okay, now we're just talking. From a Christian perspective, at least my view, I believe that God allowing evil is a virtue in which that humans have the true agency to accept them versus like, just like creation of no rationality of that option. But that'll be my view.
Sorry, can you say that again? I was a little bit distracted.
Yeah, at least my view. I know some Christians might not take this exactly, but I would say that God allowing the possibility of rejection is the virtue in which that people or creation actually has true agency to actually choose or accept him versus not having that possible option, something like that.
I think I understand what you mean,
yeah.
but it's a bit,
Yeah.
it's a bit out there.
Yeah, I was lost as well. Can you repeat that?
Basically, like God giving freedom or free will, as we call it, is a virtue that which it is better than not to have that. To like people can actually choose God or reject God rather than not having that at all. That would be like a virtue thing.
Yeah, but you gotta presume that everybody accepts that your God gives free will, which everyone doesn't.
Well, just under my view, right? Like this internal critique under Christian, my Christian belief that God giving the freedom for people is a virtue.
Yeah, and that's subjective because that's your perspective, that's your view. Me personally, I believe that every action has a reaction. Every action has a consequence. That's how you move through in life. I don't believe that there's no God's will or God's plan for anything. I don't believe there's a free will from God, to be honest.
Well, if God is goodness, then the virtues that flows from him is the goodness that, like the standard by which we compare it, right?
Yeah, but you can't call
So not to say.
You can't call God goodness when he condemns you in the eternal damnation. You can't call God forgiving. You can't call God forgiving if he sends you to an eternal of damnation. Like that, it's just a contradictory.
What's the contradiction of God allowing that for you to choose not to accept him?
Because if God haven't shown me that he actually exists and he punished me for all eternity for not believing that he exists, that's like
yeah, but that's not a contradiction. That's your presupposition of what you think good is.
I think we socially accept what good is.
But wait, quick question.
Like,
can you tell us what you think good to be?
Me?
Yeah.
God's nature identically.
But what is good?
You gotta be more specific.
Independently of God, what is the view on what is good?
I don't think you can separate goodness from God. I think God and goodness is identical by nature, necessary existence. Just under my view.
Right, so I'll ask it in a different way. To you, what is the definition of good?
God, literally.
Oh, that's a bit dodgy, my friend.
Okay.
So then, by that standard, all words. No, I understand the argument you're making that like God is synonymous with goodness, but I'm asking you, what do you mean by God?
Identical. Not synonymous. Identical by nature.
Right. So, but
have you read that Bible?
But no.
Physical book.
Before we get to that, wait.
Have you read the story?
Before we get to that, I just need to get some clarity on what you actually think good is without using God to define it. That's what I'm trying to understand.
I can't. That's the premise. I can't move on.
Are you able to define what bad is?
Yes.
Right.
Deviation from good.
Okay, so good must be some kind of standard then, right?
Yeah, good must be some kind of standard in accordance of God's nature in virtue, and deviation from that is evil.
So how do we determine what is good and what is bad?
How we determine, the key word there is determine. Our moral intuition might be a good starting point, but I mean, you're asking for determine as in like how.
Bro, you muted up. Oh, what the hell? How did everyone drop? Bro, please request back up. I don't know why TikTok does that sometimes. Icon. Who else was on the stage? Request back up, guys, please. Darren. I don't know why TikTok does that. Icon, I don't know if you're still talking and you don't know, but I've sent you a request.
Yeah, I'm straight. I'm just watching something.
Alright, about to go. Kusa is the school right there.
Yo, Icon, come back up, bro. God damn. I haven't played Tekken since I was a little kid, bro.
I'm trying to understand, how can't you like identify what's good and bad is separate from your belief system? I'm not understanding how you can't differentiate.
Oh, well, hopefully Wood's going to get to that, but he's from my view anyways, he's only saying that because it's part of his main argument for God. But it's like, it's a weird kind of, it's weird to me, it's a weird view, but it's a well-known religious view to take. But yeah, we was going to go somewhere with the line of questioning, but Icon's not here, so doesn't really matter, I guess. But what's up, though, Darren? What are you saying? What are your views about the prompt?
Well, I'm atheist, so I do believe that humans created God.
Okay, what do you think? What do you think about cancel culture?
Cancel culture is subjective because, like, you could try to cancel someone, but they won't always have a sub fan base who just die-hard believers no matter what they do. So it's pretty hard, especially in the social media area. It's pretty hard to cancel someone.
What do you think cancel should entail, then?
To be honest, I think those type of people that need to be ostracized. Like you should like I need an example. Say like if you have a big following, I believe like if you promote bad things such as like PDF files and racism and culture like that, then I believe that your account should be banned and you shouldn't be allowed to make another account, to be honest. So that's like what I mean.
So what about in the context of a normal person then? Not no celebrity, not no internet person.
I believe like your community should hold you accountable. The community should counsel you. Like, you shouldn't be, again, you should be ostracized outside of your community.
Okay, well, what do you think the benefits are of doing it?
Self-reflection.
Say again?
Self-reflection. Well, for the person or the community.
Yeah, just in general. Well, yeah, maybe the person might have some self-reflection, but in general.
Yeah, I would say I would hope so. Yeah, that's about it.
So, like, I think that, like, socially, like, evolutionary, it makes sense to have types of ostracization for certain acts. It does make sense, evolutionary. But if you're thinking about it on, like, the kind of society we live in now, are we saying if someone commits a crime, then it shouldn't just be handled by law? Or are we saying we should handle it independently of law?
I agree. I agree with rehabilitation. I don't believe our current prison system is a good like tool for like rehabilitation.
Well, yeah, a lot of people do argue about abolishing prisons, but I don't know all the deets on those. Yeah, I can see it.
I'm also an advocate of abolishing prisons, but I think we need a new system in place where, again, those type of people who shouldn't belong in society need to be ostracized, and who can be rehabilitated go to a place where they can rehabilitate their life.
So, what do you think the standard would be to determine who's rehabilitatable and who's not?
That's a good question. And that's subjective, especially depending on like the crime. Well, of course, like anything regarding children are already off the table. You should definitely be ostracized for the rest of your life. Anything like happening like murder and unaliving and
But you should
touching on children.
You should at least give a criteria for why though, to be consistent.
But why?
Yeah.
Because they're the most vulnerable. Children are definitely the most vulnerable.
Yeah, I can agree to that, but I don't know if that's enough to hold up in terms of a justice system. Alright, so don't get me wrong, I'm not arguing that you shouldn't ostracize pedophiles. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm trying to lay out is, right, if you're gonna go about like producing a different type of justice system, right, even our current justice system is hella flawed. Right? If you are gonna look at producing a different type of justice system, you also got to figure out how you create punishment proportional to crimes, and that's where the reasoning starts to actually take off in some direction or another. So if you don't want prisons, if you don't want death sentences and shit like that, then you at least need to present arguments and reasons in favor of a different way.
Oh, of course, but I don't think I have like the knowledge or the range to to really give criteria like of sentences and stuff like that.
One could argue no one has. That's the irony of it all.
Yeah,
it will come down to a subjectivity at some level.
Yeah, but I think as like people, like as human beings, as like social creatures, like we would come to some type of like agreement on what crime should fit what bill. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I think those things will change.
I wouldn't have all the details right now, but I'm pretty sure we have some extremely smart people in the same room, and they smart in what's the word I'm looking for lack of a better term right now, good people, because that's what you were saying earlier, good.
Yeah, alright, so I think people who consider themselves more realist could maybe make a good argument for this in some capacity, and I think it might stem on something like general well-being or something to that effect. But it'd still be a matter of determining how do you dish out a punishment proportionate to the crime, because just even the question of justice itself and criminology is a very deep subject to even go into. Why people do the things they do, what are the effects of the things that they do. It's a lot. So not saying that I'm not with you in terms of abolishing jail systems, perhaps for certain types of crimes if context permitted, but just in general it's still difficult to say, man. It's like if you think about how the Wild West was, and then you think about what it takes to maintain a country, it's all violence. But it's just about legitimizing one violence over another type of violence.
Over another. Yeah, I think it's called state-sanctioned violence.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And the various institutions that we have, you would describe as having a monopoly on violence.
Oh, for sure. Such as, ICE and...
Well, you can't say the word no more. God damn.
Because I don't want to get your life like a shadow ban or anything.
I use words in the way that they're supposed to be used. So
if it was my platform, I wouldn't care about using those words, but I'm on somebody else's, I won't be respected.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, mate. The kind of conversations we have here, it's
all right. Yeah,
just as long as you're not breaking terms and conditions and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, but I've seen people who just mentioned that federal organization videos got taken down and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's quite possible. But that's you could say that's also an extension of the same type of cancel culture. So, like kind of what I was saying to Lily is that at least the way it's playing out, a lot of people think they're participating in legitimate activism, and they're like how can you say it? Not legitimizing, but they're acknowledging legitimate victimhood. But what they're actually doing is actually playing out a type of fascist agenda. So when like it almost becomes like their liberalism is like 1 degree separation from like totalitarian type of reality. So people getting their accounts shut down for talking about ICE or certain G sides and shit. Even I'm self-editing. is also an expression of that kind of suppression and how would you put it, censorship. But yeah, anyways, what's up dialectical?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, you?
Not bad, thanks. I just heard your conversation. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Cool, you want to chime in?
So, I agree with the part of your prompt saying humans invented God. As far as cancel culture failing, I agree in part, and I kind of disagree in part. I think there's definitely need for the suppression of certain really backward attitudes from the realm of the public. With a civil sphere, if you're going to try and have a functional, pluralistic, democratic, open society. But I also think that you have to be able to accommodate open dialogue in order to keep that going. So it's a bit of it's a give and take, I guess. But I think that what was called cancel culture really was just an attempt by reactionary forces in the West to just sort of shut down a critical theory and postmodernism and left-wing academia and just replace it with an equally authoritarian right-wing regime which wanted to make sure that these things would all shut away out of the public mind.
Yeah, I can see that.
I would agree.
But what do you think about it on a more civil level, just like everyday people's participation, not necessarily like an organizational tactic or a governmental tactic?
So if you mean like what things people say interpersonally?
Yeah, or how that plays out communally.
Well, I don't think people should be punished for interpersonal comments they say, just on the face of it. But I also think that you have to have repercussions for them. Certainly, I think if you are using slurs of a certain kind, or you're trying to advocate some doctrine of, mass harm or division or extermination or something like that, you should be censored, right? And I think it has to come from like grassroots, from below, not something top down, from like a heavy-handed government entity or something like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do kind of understand what you mean, but I would look at those things as being basically just a breach of law. It would just be breaking the law and at that kind of level, like discrimination laws and like inciting violence and terrorism laws. I think
I'm in the United States, so you can espouse things, I guess, here that I'm not sure if you're in the UK or elsewhere, that I think your laws may be a little more strict, I guess, towards. But I don't think that it works if you're talking about, like, say, like a fascist movement that's like surging to the forefront of politics, that cancel culture is the weapon in your arsenal that's going to, like, shut them down. No, of course not. But and that didn't even work in Weimar, so it's not going to work now.
I don't think, but that's the thing. I don't think regular like people are considering cancel culture at that kind of political level. They're more thinking about it in terms of consuming rather than actually change. Does that make sense?
Yes, you're talking on an atomic level, right? Like on just like individual consumptive habits.
Yeah, it's like an example of it would just be social media. There are people who don't use social media with any. Well, obviously, no one can escape ideology, but they're not actively or consciously expressing that ideology. They're literally using it as consumers, so they can be shaped, they can be swayed and moved, just as if it was any other type of marketplace. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, they're passive consumers, and they're synthesizing whatever ideology's being, shoveled at them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So I'm a bit like distracted as you can see, right? But what I'm trying to describe is so like your approach from it so far, what I've heard you said is more on a political scale, if you're talking about combating far right rhetoric and ideologies or dangerous things that people spread, which is a given. But from my point of view, like I just said, I think that's more of a matter of law, not necessarily a civilian matter. What the critique that you put though on top of that is like, this is something that should come from the bottom up, not the top down, is also agreeable too. But what I'm trying to say is, people who purport or act as if they are participating in cancelling somebody, they're very much in tune with market interfacing. Like, this is a media celebrity, this is a product, this is XYZ. That is kind of the average person's level of view on what cancel culture is. Like, I don't like this celebrity because they did XYZ. I don't like this person because they did XYZ. They're operating it like, they're operating on it like that.
Yeah, I see that.
So that's the kind of level I'm thinking about. The level that you're talking about is real, and it is more, has way more substance to it. But the average person isn't thinking that far ahead. The average person could actually end up being the tool of the worst types of fascism, of the worst types of authoritarianism, so on and so forth.
Yes.
Agreed. So that's what I'm saying.
Got it. Yeah. So if we're talking about individual consumptive habits, or not okay, we're talking more like celebrities and canceling them for saying problematic shit, and then hoping that we have somehow, like memed their brand or made them irrelevant. I think that's, I don't know, that's something that like a lot of academic liberal types seem to think can just come about. And there was all this. Okay, so for instance, let's take an example. Let's put this somewhere concrete, right? Kanye West says all kinds of out there shit in the last few years, and he loses a lot of his promotional deals, his branding. Exactly, I think Adidas throws him out. A lot of labels are dropping him. To this day, I think his shows are still sold out, right? Like he is still very much a relevant force in music and pop culture, and he continues to push out controversial takes on social media and elsewhere.
I think he operates within quite clear parameters, though. I don't think he pushes the envelope that far. He's operating within a certain set of rules, I think, which is what allows him to exist there.
Yes, because the things he's pushing are not a systemic challenge to the way society is ordered. It's more of a defense of some of the most radical ways of terrorizing it back into structure and hierarchy, right? He's a fan of...
That's a great way of putting it, actually.
Yeah.
That was a great way of putting it.
He's not necessarily inciting violence, so it's only like so much you really can.
Yes. He's trying to basically reproduce like the most backward-facing form of violence that history has to defend the existing structures of repression and whatnot. He's not challenging anything that is going to hurt the bottom lines of those who are continuing to line their pockets and rule just about everything, right?
We can't expect people like that to really try to stop those people up there from making their bottom line, because that's where they get their money from.
I agree with you.
They have incentive to not be problematic to that group up there. So like that's why I'm really not into celebrities, because I feel like no matter what race and nationality, I feel like we all sell out, because I feel like they don't have political issues on all spectrums, like black, white, Mexican, and whatever. I don't believe in affect.
I can't hear you properly, Darren.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. You're cutting in and out.
My bad. I don't believe they work on like the political. I don't believe they take the political issues enough of the working class, and that's across the board. No matter if you're a white celebrity, a black celebrity, Asian, Hispanic, whomever. So that's why like I grow to not expect nothing from them, because I already see what is most important to them, and that's their bottom line.
Yeah, legitimately.
I agree.
I feel like we should affect their bottom line. I feel like you said, Kanye West concerts still selling out.
Well,
why.
that kind of leads into a question I was going to ask dialectic, right? So you gave the example of Kanye, why, right? Well, is this to establish the bottom-up cancellation or the top-down cancellation?
That was an attempt from, I feel like, of top-down cancellation. I mean, there was some bottom-up energy too, but like, that was something that, you know, the media generated the outrage before I think the outrage hit as fast as it was. I mean, sure, plenty of people, I'm sure, found it immediately offensive. He was going off the rails, but it also felt like there was this push to get everyone to condemn it rather than, you know, dissect it and like get people on the level of, you know, this is wrong and this is why. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like very much of a tactic of consumption, as you've described it, and how, oh, we can't consume this anymore. He's problematic. But why is he problematic, and why is what he's doing in any way?
You're talking about Kanye West specifically? I'm just talking about Kanye West specifically. It's because he talked about a group where their religion has been conflated between ethnic state in the Middle East. And the reason why they're just trying to shut it down rather than expand on what he said is because now you have to expand on the situation in its totality. And now you have to talk about that ethnic state in the Middle East in like details and like how they came about and whatnot. They don't want to really dive deep into, even though with how he said it and what he said was completely false, because like you can't talk about a group like that in a fashion that he did, but they want to shut it down instead of opening it up more broadly, because now the United States will have to face a lot of their own demons, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do. And I actually think maybe you said some of what I was trying to say better than I was saying it. Because if he had said something to the lines of like, that was more putting Palestinians first and not making it about J people, but the fact that like Israel's doing horrible things, I think he would have been canceled a lot faster. What he instead was doing was, but at the same time he was saying these things, he's also saying things like, you know, blaming the people who were, you know, African victims of the transatlantic slave trade for having been enslaved, and palling around with Candace Owens and backing up Trump. So none of that energy was really like anti-systemic or anti-establishment. It was actually reinforcing and shoring up the establishment, and also just kind of like just steering all the resentment towards, it's all in the J's, really.
But the interesting thing though, right? Just if I can add, right? The interesting thing is those events that you described are also a byproduct of the same cancellation culture. It's a moving from this. Kanye was never really like sent out in that kind of way because he's always been kind of Christian nationalist centered, right? But the alignment with Trump, the alignment with Candace Owens, and saying these various different things can also be an expression or like an unintended consequence of where he was in culture based on the same ideologies of wokeness, if you will. So it's like he could legitimately think those things about Trump, legitimately think the same things as Candace and Van Lathan, whoever that was, right? But he could also just be acting out in aggression against people who think, for whatever reason, he shouldn't have a platform, you know. But maybe I didn't explain that correctly. But sorry, I interrupted what you were saying.
No, I appreciate that, because I think that does help me sort of like tailor what I'm trying to say, so maybe make it a little clearer. I think that like wokeness and anti-wokeness are two wings of the same bird. And by that I mean that I think that they are mutually reinforcing phenomenon of just reproducing culture wars that endlessly get the attention of the public away from politics of substance, about who controls wealth, what healthcare we have access to, how much food we have access to, the actual power we can leverage in our governments, the cleanliness of our environment, just our material well-being, and the power we can exercise over our daily lives. And I think that both counterculture, you know, wokeness, and counterculture, anti-wokeness, or anti-SJW, whatever, all of it has served to just reinforce two different wings in politics, both of which are facilitators for upward wealth distribution, and to get us as far away from talking about, again, issues of substance to the working class as possible.
If I can ask you a question,
Agree.
what do you think wokeness is?
What I think wokeness is,
Yeah.
I think wokeness has become like a snarl term that people on the right will use.
Not what it's become. I mean, like, what do you think it actually is?
I believe that it was initially it denoted things like intersectionality, class consciousness, anti-racism, anti-imperialism.
Yeah, so they can't be too. It can't be too. Well, the original meaning of woke, so that it can't be two wings of the same bird because they actually clash with each other. They actually clash with each other. One is more so, for lack of a better term, people friendly, whereas like you rather like the means of production comes to the people rather than go up top to corporation owners and whatnot.
Well,
And
how I
wokeness-
understand it, the initial, like the inception of the idea of woke was about Black liberation movement. That's where it initially came from.
Yes.
Like you could say
Yes, it was.
what people
But
are
it's come
dubbing
along.
as first wave woke, if you will.
But it's been sanitized to the point of becoming like academic, white kids in purple hair ranting on college campus liberalism.
I think
That's how I see it. It's kind of
I
undergoing
think
an
that's
evolution.
true, but I also think that's true for all progressive type of ideas. Once they
No,
reach
I
a
don't
certain
mean to
view,
say that.
they get captured and then repurposed in different ways.
I agreed, 100%.
Sorry, Darren, carry on though, bro.
Yeah, that's why I asked you like what you believe the actual meaning is compared to what they try to sanitize it to now. Especially with the DSA calling like woke one crazy, which is a whole other phenomenon that I'm trying to
Yeah, that's a conversation in itself, right?
I wouldn't even call myself apolitical because that means I'm not a Democrat nor Republican. I'm kind of in the middle, but I'm kind of to the left of both of them. I can't say kind of. I'm much more to the left of both of them. That's why, I believe woke culture actually, no pun intended, woke you up to like the harm that Democrats often do as well as the Republicans. Like we wouldn't have got that if we didn't have woke culture, that initial woke culture.
Yeah. So if that's how we're approaching it, I would say that I'm pro what wokeness was initially as something anti-establishment, revolutionary, and emancipatory. But what it sadly the label and the labeling and the power to do the labeling fell into the hands of the far right, and they decided to just call just about everything woke, including pro-business liberalism that just did some performative kneeling after George Floyd was unalive and things like that. It became empty of substance and very much a sort of commodified identity and a fixture of the Democratic Party, at least in the United States, in a way that it was toothless.
Yeah, but the Democrats actually hijacked the actual term of woke and sanitized it even more.
Yes, they did.
Like, yes, the Republicans use it in such like a very wrong, derogatory term, and they discuss it in their own right. But the Democrats are very specific on how they co-opt certain terms and water it down to like fit the establishment, but not so much where you actually make room for change.
So yeah, I think you corrected me, because when I was trying to think, I guess what I meant by what woke is what woke has become now, or what it's conventionally referred to in mainstream political discourse, rather than what it was as or an originally like insurrectionary take on society. Because when you are talking, at least from the Americans I encounter, and I try not to talk politics with Americans, frankly, but the way that they talk about it, you would think that woke is basically like postmodern, petty bourgeois, middle class, white students who take liberal arts courses and who just scold people from like this position of just maintaining like Obama-style democratic politics into perpetuity. You know what I mean?
If you want to,
I think there's truth to it.
If you want like a real parameter of what woke culture is, that would be like your Nat Turners, your Harriet Tubmans, your Huey P. Newtons, your Malcolm X, your
Fred Hampton.
Your Fred Hampton. They're like your ideal examples of what woke culture really is.
Right.
Traditionally, yes.
Yes. Yeah, no argument there. It's a matter of how it has come to represent itself, I guess, in the lexicon of the mainstream, where it has, again, and I don't want to like overburden the point. Like it looks nothing like that now. They'll call Gavin Newsom woke now. You know what I mean? They'll call Kamala Harris woke. It has become like it's such an empty term when you hear it said by.
It's a containment strategy.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's a containment strategy.
That's why I said they both are co-opting it in different forms. They both making the term woke establishment.
Yes.
That's why I believe I listen to nothing politician says. Politician is professional liars. No matter what side of the aisle you fall on, they are professional liars.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair take, but you should always like at least try to keep an eye on what your enemy's doing. Oh wait,
yes,
I'll just see what's happening there.
Oh no, I definitely stay up to date with everything that's going on, especially in my district of Pennsylvania. Like my governor is Ben Shapiro. For some reason, Democrats in this state love him. I know him as a person who signed his names on big things that explode on children.
Yeah, you're talking about Josh Shapiro.
Yeah, Josh Shapiro, my bad. Josh Shapiro. And that damn John Fetterman. Like, I can't stand that man.
Uncle Fester, yeah.
I don't know much about what's happening on your side of the pond in terms of politics, but it sounds strange.
Our Democratic Party, I think, is either is having something of an internal low-intensity civil war between a democratic socialist moment, which people in the U.S. think is full-blown Marxism. I think they would probably look something just like any Labor or Socialist Party in the U.S. in the EU. Really, they're hardly radical.
I look at them a little different. I look at Democrat Socialists as like who to try to draw in people back to the Democratic Party,
like a sheepdog strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that that's basically what they are. But the Democratic Party has no intent of like following through with any of these policies the DSA actually says that it's all about.
Oh, trust me, I know. We have about 40 years to 50 years of documented proof that neither party is willing to help us, no matter if they got the majority or not.
Yeah, we're on the same page there. I'm in New York, right? And we have the mayor of our city, probably one of the more popular mayors we've had in a while. We've had some really shit mayors.
I've heard about
but the way that you hear people talk about him, you would think that he was Fidel Castro and Ayatollah Khomeini combined, right? Like it's
because he said he was a socialist, right?
Right, and because he's of Muslim descent, he's like from an Indian family that was in Uganda that then came to the U.S. And I believe at least he has one parent who's Shia Muslim. That's enough for him to be, accused of trying to create like a imami in Manhattan.
I don't know how old you are, but can you tell me can I tell you who Madani remind me of?
Who's that?
2008 Obama.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I remember that.
And by I think 2011, 2012, I've already given up on Obama because I realized he just is, established as the most established Democrat.
Yeah. So I guess we're probably around the same age then, because I had similar, I'm kicking myself looking back at it. Sort of like Obama is going to be our New Deal kind of, FDR of the 21st century. And really what he did was just kept the seat warm and handed it off to Trump.
You gotta remember what was going on around that time. That's when not so long after 9/11 and the Patriot Act, and that's when ICE became, a thing with national security. And there was outrage. It was actually unity between everybody and outrage in the United States. So what they needed to make change. And Obama was like the perfect person, like to sanitize the entire country.
Yes, but he was also promising like rupture with the trajectory of American politics into like a more equitable realm. I think he was kind of like teasing, like, you know, really passing. I remember he was originally going to pass like not just like, you know, the healthcare legislation he ultimately ended up passing, but he was going to put in a public option, and then he was expand Medicaid and Medicare, and he was going to close Guantanamo Bay. We were going to, you know, pull out of Iraq almost immediately.
And we did none of that.
No, and in fact, between 2011 and 2012, the Dems have a supermajority in both houses of Congress.
I remember.
And Obama's president.
I remember.
And at that point, they could have, you know, passed some like universal health care, some really like
meaningful changes,
things that would have like changed the landscape of American politics for a generation, and probably locked in millennial and Gen Z voters as Democrats for life.
Yeah, but all his job was just to calm down the public. His job wasn't to do that.
Right, he was a pacifier. Right, he was not a not even a progressive. He was a, you know, right, a mediator.
As an African American man who loved Obama once upon a time, that it still made me sick to my stomach. I realized that man at one point.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, it's time to wind the show down. I will be back on later on. You guys are more than welcome anytime.
Yeah, my daughter keep coming down anyway. She need me.
All right. So let's wrap this thing up. I want to thank you two for coming up. Big up Darren. Big up Dialectical. Hey, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. All right, so see you later. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
So.